Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bourbon Bytes, whiskey reviews with a gaming twist. I'm your host, Clifton, and welcome to another live stream. Today is going to be really cool because I stumbled into a deal on some very expensive whiskey for a very low price. So if you saw the title of this video and the thumbnail, I got these bourbons and rye whiskeys for 75% off retail. So tonight I'm going to be judging them based on one, their retail price, two, the price I paid, and three, against each other. So we're going to do a full flight of these three different Stellum Black, Bourbon, and Rye whiskeys. And we're going to see, are they worth their retail or the clearance price? And are these a pricing error or much more like this is what they're supposed to be priced at? We're going to find out tonight. But I do want to also say it's now June, so happy Pride Month for those of you in the chat that are part of the community or allies. I have a special promo pinned in the chat over there on my merch. Everyone gets 20% off any merch on my website this month using the promo code BYTEPRIDE. So if you do want to get your t-shirts like this one right here, also there's a few other shirts available as well. It's coasters, stickers, lots of fun things like that. You get 20% off your entire order using that promo code. So just wanted to celebrate Pride Month in a way and give back to this awesome community. But yes, I love a good deal. So when I saw these bourbons and ryes, I bought them and I want to pass the savings on to you. Isn't that like some slogan of like Costco or something? I promise I'm not trying to sell you. But if you are interested in getting merch, I heard some people saying that they were planning to restock some of their shirts because they just have had them for a while. So if you are interested, now is a chance to get those. I will say if you are a Byte Club member, which is my membership program, also on Patreon, you get permanent discounts on my merch all the time. So you don't have to wait for a sale like this when you can actually get them discounted whenever you want. So for all the details, go to bourbonbytes.com and click join the Byte Club and you'll see how to get your permanent discount. But for now, enjoy the 20% off while you can. I'm probably going to restock some of my own stuff while I have the deal going on. So it benefits both of us. I want to say hello to some folks here in the chat. I see Doug, Taste and Sensibility in that chat. Wayne is here as well. Cheers. And Adam Free. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Happy Thursday. For those of you watching live, for you watching the replay, happy whatever day or year it is. Hopefully the world is still turning. But yeah, so this should be a fun one. Like I said, I saw these bourbons when they were at retail and they were like $100 each. And I was like, that's a lot for a bourbon blend or a rye blend where we don't know too much info about it. But now when you're cutting the price by 75%, I'm like, okay, let's give it a try, finally. So that's what tonight's all about. If you saw the thumbnail, you may know this already, but we have three different Stellum Black labels. Two of them are ryes. So we have the Stellum Rye, the Lone Cypress here. This one's coming in at 115.34 proof. It's not focusing. Come on. It's probably because my lights in the background are getting a little too excited. But anyways, Stellum Rye, 115.34 proof, the Lone Cypress. It is a cask-strength blend of rye whiskeys. We're going to do some digging, try to find some more info about each of these as we go along tonight. But we're just going to start here. It's distilled in Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And we also have another Stellum Rye whiskey. This is the Fibonacci blend. Now, if you notice, these are all based off of like interstellar terms. This one said it's also distilled in Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And then I was reading it actually described what the Fibonacci number is. I knew it sounded familiar, but I didn't know. It says the Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers, each the sum of the two previous numbers. So fun facts for the day. And lastly, we have a Stellum Bourbon. This is the Equinox blend number 1. This one's coming in at 117.26 proof. So all straight blends of whiskey. The bourbon is distilled in Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee as well. So like I said, we're going to do a little bit of digging. We're going to see if we can find more details on these blends and see what they are, if they're worth retail or if they're worth the discount price I got them for. At first I wondered, like, is this a pricing error? Like, why is this so cheap? But I think it was intentional. I don't know if they just had too many of these or what the plan was, but to knock 75% off of the price, I couldn't pass it up. I bought every single one available. A couple of these are still available. So if you are in the Southern California area, K&L Wine and Spirits has some of these Stellums still discounted. So again, not sponsored. I bought them myself, but I'm like, for half the price or for a quarter of the price, let's give them a try. So I'll leave it to you guys. Whoa, I don't know what that was. I'll leave it to you guys in the chat. Should I start with the rye or the bourbon? Where do you want me to start? And let me know what you guys are drinking, because I have not had any whiskey yet today, and I'm excited to get something in my glass. But I am curious if you guys want me to try the bourbon or the rye first. So let me know in the chat, or maybe just tell me what you're drinking, and then whatever you guys are drinking, I'll join you with the category. Oh, it's the Emily here. Emily's here. Love a good find. Me too. Me too. Doug said, I never got any of the fancier Stellum items, although I like their standard bourbon and rye they offered. Yeah, I like their standard releases. I also like the single barrels of the standard releases. This is my first time trying the blacks. Or, when I say that it's the first time, I actually may have tried them years and years ago. I feel like there was a live stream I did with the folks from Stellum, and but it's been so long that I don't recall what I felt about them, and I didn't want to go rewatch them to kind of, influence my opinion today. Because today, it's all about what I think of them in 2026. Even I tried them in 2022, doesn't matter. This is my current bourbon palette. That just sounds like a name of like a show. This is my current bourbon palette. Doug says bourbon first. Wayne says bourbon, please. I think Stellum is being discontinued. Yeah, that's my understanding. Their website is still up. Like if you go to stellum.com, it doesn't say anything about it. But I've not heard of any new releases whatsoever from Stellum. They list the Stellum Black and the Stellum Rye, but there's not really anything about it. Let's see if there's a press article. No, this is all from 2023. So listen, it was an interesting experiment to begin with. I always thought it was strange. I liked the idea of it at first because I thought that Barrel Craft Spirits in general is not a very approachable brand. It's a high-end premium bourbon or rye. It's a premium brand. So when they released Stellum to be more of the mid-range line, I thought it was really cool. I'm like, okay, yes, you're going to get people in. You're going to see how good you are at doing the blends, and you're going to maybe entice them to buy the higher end Barrel Craft Spirits releases. So I like the idea of it. But then when they announced these Stellum Black releases, I was like, wait, you're making a premium version of your mid-range line? Like it got a little complicated, a little confusing. I didn't necessarily get the reasoning behind it. And I think I had Will on the channel to actually talk about it years and years ago. But it was always struck me as kind of a strange decision. So unfortunately, I understand that happening. I see why it would have happened. Alfonso's here in the chat. Cheers. Wayne says they've had several awards attached to the bourbon. Nice. I did a stream with them back in like 22. Yeah, like I couldn't remember if the stream was about the regular Stellum line or the Stellum Black line. I didn't go back and look at it. But I definitely have talked about Stellum with the brand. I just don't know if it was the black or the regular Stellum. But you guys said bourbon. We're going to start with the bourbon. So, okay, I'm here for it. Wait, is this the BBB BC? I know what a couple of those B's stand for. But this is Stellum, so not Bardstown Bourbon Company, if that's the BBC you're talking about. There's a few other ones that we will save for the after party hangout. But what's up, Ben? Good to see you. All right, so we're going to start with the bourbon. We're going to start with the Stellum Black Equinox blend. So here it is right here. Like I said, 117.26 proof. What does it say on the back of it? It says, the inaugural release of the Stellum Black Equinox blend was created using Stellum bourbon. We slowly layered in rare sets of bourbon barrels step by step until the evening of the vernal equinox, when the blend was complete in honor of the changing seasons. So again, I love that they have reasons for each of these releases. But like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of digging once I get this poured. We're going to see if we can find out what is in this blend, because they don't tell us. There's no age statement. We know it's at least 4 years old, but that's all we really know about this Stellum. Big Black Contest. Oh, okay. Yeah, Stellum Black. I get it. I get it now. So this is the Stellum Equinox blend number 1. Let me pull up their page, because they have a page for each of these. So actually, I can share my screen. It's been a minute since I've done this, so give me 1 second. There we go. Let me share that right there. Boom. Okay. Stellum Black Equinox. So same thing I read on the back. It won an Ascot Award in 2023, double platinum, and a 91 from the Ultimate Spirits Challenge. So there's some tasting notes. There's some things about adding water to it. I like to dry my whiskey neat, especially on the first taste. So we might try adding some water here in the bit, but we're going to start off with it being neat. Unfortunately, they don't tell us anything about like what went in the blend. I was looking at this other page from Breaking Bourbon to see, because sometimes they have some insider info. But there's really nothing here. They just tell you that it is non-age statement. It's aged at least 4 years old based on TTB regulations, $100 MSRP, and it came out back in June of 2022. So unfortunately, we don't know anything beyond it being a blend of straight bourbons from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So that's a bit of a nothing burger, but we're still going to go with it. Bardstown Bourbon, British Broadcast Company. There we go, for sure. Hashtag eggplant. Yeah, so like I said, I am a fan in general of the Stellum lineup. I think they are great bourbons and ryes. It's just the black, it's just like the price at $100. I wasn't necessarily sold, but now that I get to try it for $20, so sorry, this one's $30. So the two ryes were $25 each. This one was $30, but the retail on all of them is $100. So again, in general, they're about 75% off when I got them. Let's go ahead and give this Stellum Black Equinox blend a nose. Ooh, okay. Yeah. That's a bourbon, first of all. Second of all, I can tell there's some really aged bourbon in this blend. There's a lot of character there. There's a lot of oak. But it's not dry like or let me say that again. It's not totally dry like it's entirely made up of older bourbon. I think there's some younger bourbon blended in here that's kind of balancing it out. So we have a blend of either Kentucky, Indiana, or Tennessee whiskey. We don't know how old or what amount of each of these are in here. In terms of Tennessee, I know a lot of people are sketchy about Tennessee whiskey. It doesn't smell like George Dickel, which is a very prominent. It's a Tennessee distillery that has a very prominent nose and palate that a lot of people don't like. I'm not getting that on the nose, so don't be afraid of this because it has Tennessee in it. There could be good Tennessee whiskey in here. Does said place have an online presence and ship? Indeed, they do. K&L Wines. They still have a couple of these in stock, so. But we're going to see if it's even worth it today at these prices. I do love the nose on that one. It's bright. It's got a little bit of like a it's a sweetness, but it's like a cedar. It's like a wood sweetness, if that makes sense. It's like the oak is kind of the binding layer here, but it's not that really old oak that, sometimes you get on like a really dry bourbon. It's a lot sweeter. It's a lot brighter. It's got a little bit of spiciness with it too. Yeah, smells pretty darn good. Let's go ahead and try the Equinox blend number 1. Cheers. Oh, okay. That's surprisingly familiar. Still very sweet. Wow, okay. It's got a bright, like sugar coating, like or like a creme brulee note for sure. It's like a baked. It's like a toasted vanilla crust, if that makes sense. It's got so much sweetness that I'm immediately drawn to the dessert category. But it smells older than it tastes. It tastes quite a bit young. I think the blend that's in here, they're not giving us an age statement. I think there's probably some pretty young bourbon in this blend because it's so sweet. And I know Stellum's meant to be an approachable line from Barrel Craft Spirits. They definitely went for the sweet tooth here on the palate here because it's crazy sweet. Once you're past the sweetness, there is a nice spiciness there. It's not spicy like a rye. It's more spicy, like almost like a bit of a like a green pepper, like an actual spicy pepper. There's a nice little twinge of spice on the mid palate, towards the back end of the palate. Honestly, the more I sip this, the more complex I think it is. And I've always said this about Barrel Craft Spirits. I think they're some of the best blenders out there in the industry. I think they can make these really unique flavor profiles and make bourbons or whiskeys from all these different regions taste very cohesive. And this is a very cohesive bourbon. I mean, you don't taste the Tennessee whiskey. You don't taste the Indiana bourbon. I mean, there's some elements that I usually associate with Indiana bourbon. I will say you can taste the Kentucky. At first, I was actually going to say this kind of tastes a lot like some of the Jim Beam products that are not under the Knob Creek label. That sweeter, nuttier kind of flavor profile. I'm getting a little bit of that. So I'm either thinking there's maybe some younger Jim Beam here. There's also a chance that could be Barton. Barton sometimes at a younger age statement gives me that like sweet nuttiness that I think older Barton, you don't really see that as much, at least in my experience. It's definitely like a sweet, almost like a honey-coated peanut on the palate. And I do like it. It's good. It's just, you got to be a sweets lover. You can't just be a traditional, I guess I was going to say like, if you're looking for a complex bourbon, this is it, but it's not complex in the way that a older bourbon would be, which begs the question, you know, with this being $100 retail, does it taste like $100 bourbon? Okay, hold on. We'll save that judgment for the end because I do have thoughts. I already have thoughts, but I want to taste through this full lineup before I make the call. Is it worth the retail price, the sale price, or somewhere in between? I was going to say, like, I would not, if you told me this was $100, I don't know if I would believe you. Just tasting it blind. It's a really nice flavor profile. I like that nuttiness. I like that sweetness. Mid palate's a little corn heavy, corn young, bourbon notes, just like, and there's not much of a finish. It's a pretty light finish, even though it's 117.26 proof. The finish is pretty meh. So that's a confusing one. I'll save my thoughts for the end, so stick around. You'll hear my final judgment on this. We got 2 more whiskeys to drink before we make those calls, though. Yeah, I like the flavor. I do. I just think it's... Stay tuned. All right, let's move on to the Ryes. Maybe the Ryes will kind of start impressing me a little bit more. We have the Fibonacci blend and we have the Lone Cypress. Let me pull those up. The Fibonacci blend won quite a lot of awards. The Lone Cypress, oh, it as well. Okay. Let's start with the Lone Cypress. We'll do the Lone Cypress as our first rye whiskey. Again, Stellum Black, same label, just with rye. Cask-strength blend of straight rye whiskeys from Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. What do they say about this one? This savory and delicate rye blend is defined by notes of dried herbs and pine with a hint of salty air salinity. I like that. That sounds really good. It's named for one of the world's most famous trees found on the picturesque coast of the Monterey Peninsula, the Lone Cypress. Big Vic in the house. What's up, Big Vic? Good to see you, man. Cheers. Happy Thursday. Do you think the discount prices include the Louisville, Kentucky location? Like for barrel or for Stellum? I'm not sure. I do know this is for, I guess, again, this is K&L Wine and Spirits that put them on discount. They do ship to a lot of different states. They also just opened a New York City store, so I would check there first. I don't know if it's like an across the line discount. If you guys have noticed these on sale at your stores, let me know. Like I said, I've only seen it at K&L, but it might be a thing they're kind of rolling out nationwide to kind of get rid of it because it's kind of been discontinued. So I cannot speak on that, but I hope so. I hope they are, you know, I mean, I hate to say I hope so because I love the brand, but I also like, I love a good deal more than I love the brand, if that makes sense. So your mileage may vary. Now, what I will notice about the Lone Cypress, it's quite a bit darker in color. It's got a nice color on it for a rye whiskey, non-age dated blend. Again, 4 years minimum age statement just based on the TTB label. We don't know for sure what's in here. Let me see if there's any insights. You know, sometimes people like do a little bit more digging. I'm not seeing anything, unfortunately. I'll share the page here, though, just so you guys can see it. That changes every time. Let me do that. Oh, let me share that. Here we go. All right. Here is the page for the Lone Cypress. It says it won the Ascot Award, the Gold Award in 2023, as well as the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Also got gold there. I get no details about what's in here. There's some flavor notes and tasting notes, but I don't like being held down to those. So I just want to show you guys, they don't reveal anything else beyond that. And again, I'm doing some digging on other websites. Unfortunately, they never came out with what's in it. So Adam says everything Stellum got put on clearance tables at my store at least a year ago. Wow. Maybe K&L is behind on the trend with that. Okay. Well, that's a good thing to know. So maybe just check your stores. If they have Stellum, there's a good chance it's on sale. I don't know if it's going to be 75% off like I got it, but it's going to be on sale, likely. All right, let's go to nose the Lone Cypress. Like I said, there's pine and there's, I think it said cedar notes. I'm here for it. Ooh, yes. Very, very, very earthy rye whiskey. I mean, I think some would maybe say mossy, some might say grassy, some might say minty, but this is 100% leaning into that bright of the earth note that a lot of rye whiskeys have, especially younger rye whiskeys. I get it more on young rye whiskeys. And based on the nose, I have a feeling there's some young rye whiskey in here, maybe or I guess it has to be at least 4 years old. 4 to 5 year old rye whiskey. Nothing wrong with that. I love a young rye whiskey, especially in a Manhattan cocktail. I think a young rye whiskey with those bright herbaceous notes combined with a really good sweet vermouth just makes a fantastic cocktail. Older rye whiskeys, I tend to drink them neat. Like a 10-year-old or even a 13-year-old rye whiskey. I want that neat because it's such a flavorful whiskey. But young rye whiskeys do incredible in cocktails. Yeah, love the nose. Let's go ahead and give a taste to the Lone Cypress. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. Wow. Oh, sweet candy sweetness. It's not quite, like I said, the bourbon was more of a vanilla bake shop. This is like a candy shop, like lots of sugary confectionery candy. I'm thinking anywhere from like a Smarties candy, like a very powdery, sugary pixie stick. Honestly, it has some pixie stick qualities to it. I don't know if that's a strange note for a whiskey, but this Stellum rye whiskey has a pixie stick note. I like it. It's fun. I'm here for it. Beyond that, there is a bit of fruitiness, and it's definitely an orchard fruit. I'm thinking maybe pear, maybe like with a candy thing, like peach rings. It's a little bit peach rings, and I'm not the biggest peach ring fan. I love a fresh peach, but I don't love peach flavored things. I'm getting a little bit of that peach ring candy flavor here, but that drinks really, really nicely. It actually, surprisingly, reminds me of barrel seagrass, which is, that really crazy rye whiskey that's finished in apricot brandy casks, as well as quite a few others, I think rum and maybe a type of sherry, I forget. This kind of reminds me of barrel seagrass, but in like a different way, a way sweeter way. It's like if you combine barrel seagrass and Angel's Envy rye, you would have the Lone Cypress. I dig it. It's fun. It's very different from any other rye whiskeys I have on my shelf. And I think you can tell by how excited I am about this, how I feel about it compared to the bourbon we just had. I think this is the clear, better spirit. I think this is just a fun rye whiskey. It doesn't taste traditional. It doesn't taste like it's going for like, oh, every man's rye. This is a very unique blend. And I think they did something fun here. They made it very sweet and approachable. And again, if you have a sweet tooth, these Stellum Blacks might be for you. Yeah. And it's funny because, even though it has all that sweetness, the finish in the back part of the palate goes a little bit toasty and oaky. So the oak is not lost there. Even though I said this is probably a younger rye whiskey doesn't have to be as old to have as much character as bourbon. I think rye whiskey, you can have a young rye whiskey and still get a lot of the oak character and the really refined whiskey characters. Then, I would rather have a 5-year rye whiskey than like a mid 7 or 8 year bourbon. Like just for me, the rye has a lot more flavor at a young age. Speaking of sweet Cindy is in the chat. What's up, Cindy? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Cheers to you. Yeah, that Lone Cypress. I mean, that's going to be hard to beat. We do have one more rye whiskey to try here, though. And both of these were $25. So I got both the Lone Cypress and the Fibonacci blend for $25. Retail is $100. That one's going to be a little bit closer to, it'd be harder to argue. Because I think at the end of the stream, like I said, I'm going to rank these in terms of my favorite to least favorite. But I'm also going to say, are they worth the retail price or the discount price? So far, that Lone Cypress is very unique, and it definitely holds its own. But we have one more Stellum Black bourbon or whiskey or rye. Let me say it again. We have one more Stellum Black rye whiskey to try. So we have the Fibonacci blend. Like I said, this is a reference to a sequence of numbers where each is the sum of the previous number. Let me share the page here for their website, just to give you a little quick peek at the way they describe it on the Stellum site. So let me go here. All right, so here we are, Fibonacci blend. It says it won the Ascot Award Best in category for the best blend of rye whiskey, a Ascot Award Double Platinum, and a San Francisco World Spirits Competition Double Gold. So this one did really well. This one comes in at 115.12 proof. Sounds like it's a lot of citrus forward. Yeah, they don't tell you about the flavor profile based on the name. Like the Cypress one, they were going for more of a sweet or like an earthy kind of quality to it. Let me see if there's any info here on Breaking Bourbon. No, they just say, again, MSRP was $100, mash bill undisclosed, age at least 4 years old. And as with the last one, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee whiskey. So that's all we know. So that doesn't mean it's not going to be incredible. So let's go and get the Fibonacci blend poured. Based on that description, I think it's going to go a little bit more traditional in flavor profile than the Cypress. I have a feeling. I don't know, just based on those notes. But I don't like being influenced by tasting notes. I like to just go for it. Let's give the Fibonacci blend a nose. Ooh, okay, yeah. A little bit, quite a bit darker. It's nowhere near as sweet, nowhere near as bright. It kind of reminds me of like a dried hay kind of note, which is something I used to get a lot on rye whiskeys, especially craft rye whiskeys. Not too much crazy on the nose here. And I'm also not crazy about it. It's definitely not enticing me to drink it like the Lone Cypress was. It's got a little bit of a funkiness going on, a little bit of like a malted kind of, I don't know if it's malted rye or malted barley, but it has a little bit of maltiness that I didn't get on that last one. So I'm curious to see how it holds up on the palate. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Okay. So there was a little bit of a note that I thought was a little funky here. Sometimes on some, especially rye whiskeys, I get a little bit of like a bit of a plastic kind of note, like a little bit of like a really cheap plastic, like the really crappy Happy Meal toys that you used to get as a kid that were like really just cheaply made. Sometimes I get that note on a whiskey. And this one, it hit me for just a second. Not to the point where I felt like, oh, this is trash, because that's happened before. But to the point where I'm like, oh, that's not what I'm used to. So let me go for another taste. Maybe someone else might describe that as more of like an oily or like a gasoline kind of note, if that makes sense. It caught me off guard, though. It kind of threw me off there. It also drinks a little hot. It definitely drinks hotter than the other ones we're having. Yeah, the nose doesn't do it for me. It just has like a little bit of like a dry hay kind of element to it. Let's try it again. I will add, this is the best finish of them all. It lingers, and it definitely warms the palate. It definitely, it shines at the mid to back palate. It's like it's like a nothing burger up front. I said nothing burger twice in one stream. What is wrong with me? Just up front, you get that weird like plastic kind of thing that I don't like. But on the mid palate and the finish, you're like, oh, I get it now. So every time I taste this for the first time, I'm like, oh, what? And then I'm like, oh. So it's like one of those ones where it's not going to be like when it hits your tip of your tongue, you're going to love it. That does affect my opinion of it, because I think a whiskey should be a journey. I think it should, from the tip of the tongue to the mid palate to the back to the finish, it should take you on a journey, and a pleasant journey. If you're starting that journey with a bit of a gasoline note, it's like taking off on a road trip. Like you have a really long road trip, and you start smelling like gas, and your engine starts sputtering like as soon as you get on the interstate. And you're like, uh-oh, what am I in for the next 16 hours? That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's like, oh, that's a little bit off-putting at first, but it kind of balances out. It kind of gets into gear going on the car thing. But man, that one took me on a ride down the wrong direction. Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, finish wise, it's the best finish of them all. It's lingering, it's long, it definitely hangs out in the back of the palate. It has some nice, dark, rich, oaky character on the back end. It's just so weird, and like it almost feels like, honestly, a bit unbalanced across the board. So even though it's so great at the finish, it's like the start is just kind of hanging out and rubbing me the wrong way, if that makes sense. So yeah, don't love it, but we'll see. Is it worth the $100 or is it worth the $25 that I paid for it? I think we should start getting into our my final thoughts and rankings. I know we're a little bit early here tonight, but I did only have 3 whiskeys to drink through. Unless you guys have other plans, like listen, I'm going to start incorporating a thing where like super chats. Like if you send a super chat of any amount, unless someone like outdoes you with another super chat, I'll like drink whatever you guys see on my shelves behind me. So I'm gonna start doing that at the end of my streams. We'll see if it happens, if it catches on as a thing or not. But it's like I realize I'm ending these streams a lot earlier than normal, just because I'm like talking to myself a lot of the times, unless I'm interviewing someone. Of course, then I do the full stream. But when I only have 3 whiskeys here, I like opening up the end to see what you guys want me to try or get my thoughts on. And a super chat is your way to do that. Also, it does support the channel. That's like my fun way of being like making it interactive and gamifying it. But it's also like every super chat does support the channel and allows me to buy bottles like this, even when they're on clearance. So I'm glad that cap was in, because y'all saw that, right? I actually did like a double take. I'm like, oh God, I hope I didn't just pour that all over myself. Although if I did, it'd only be $25, so it wouldn't have been the end of the world. All right, let's start ranking these. Let's see what we think in consideration of the retail price and what I paid. Let's start with the bourbon. The bourbon is the one that I'm trying to remember what I thought of it. Can't instant replay in my mind. The bourbon was, oh, there we go. I smelled it. Was very, very sweet. Like a sweet creme brulee, vanilla bomb. I said it was a little nutty on the palate. Yeah. Yeah. My thoughts are still the same. Okay. My last place, if you didn't already know, my last place is the bourbon tonight. It is the Stellum Bourbon Equinox Blend number 1. It's not bad. It is not a bad bourbon. My problem with it is it just tastes pretty young. There's not much of a finish there. It doesn't, I'll be 100% honest, this does not drink like a $100 bourbon at all. If I paid $100 for this, I would be disappointed. It's quite a letdown in terms of complexity, in terms of just what you would expect from like a premium version of Stellum. Because again, regular Stellum bourbon, I think it's like $50. It's not bad for the price. But this being double the cost, to me, it doesn't drink premium. It drinks like no better or worse than a $50 bourbon. You know, I think I've had much better $50 bourbons, if that even brings it down. Honestly, this one, I would pay $25, or sorry, I paid $30 for this one. I would pay $30 for this one, but I wouldn't pay a cent more. To me, it just doesn't quite do it. Maybe, I was gonna say if it was $50, like a regular Stellum, would I buy it? I would be disappointed at $50. There's much better $50 bourbons you can buy. Just not a fan of the Equinox Blend number 1, at least on my current palate today. Again, everyone's palate changes, right? And even though if I may have loved this 3 or 4 years ago on the YouTube channel, it doesn't really hold up today, unfortunately. It's not, I would say skip the Equinox Blend of the Stellum Bourbon, the black label. Sure, for $30, grab it, but it's not going to be the most exciting $30 bottle you have. That's what sucks, is like, I paid $30, which is $70 off. I should have been like, holy crap, this is such an amazing deal. That one doesn't make me feel like it. That one's like, I could find other $30 bourbons that I like just as much as this, you know? So unfortunately, that's how I feel about that one. Doug says, I made up the blend I mentioned of the Angel's Envy Rye and the Barrel Seagrass. Not bad. Awesome. I wish I had that. I would love to join you with that. That sounds really good. I'm glad you gave it a try. You know, I wish you had this one so you can compare and see if it actually lives up to my expert blending skills. Just kidding. Get Cliffy to surface. I don't think he'll surface tonight, but you know what? There's always a chance. There's never not a chance. He'll definitely make an appearance on the after party tonight. Viking Bourbon in the house. Cheers. Cheers to you. Happy Thursday. All right. So we know my last place. I think it barely justifies the $30 price point. Nowhere near justifies the $100 retail price on it. Let's move on to my second place tonight. My second place, I felt was quite a bit unbalanced. I think the tip of the palate, the first taste of it was funky, plasticky, but the finish was really good. My second place, my second place was the Fibonacci blend Stellum Rye Black Label. This has such an incredible finish. Like I'm hoping this is very clear to you guys. When I'm looking for a really good finish on a whiskey, this is giving me exactly what I want. Lingering spice, not like burning, but lingering spice all the way down the throat. Good Kentucky hug. I mean, that alone makes it worth the discount price I paid, the $25. I don't think I've had a $25 rye whiskey that's done that for me. So I will say it's absolutely worth the 75% off price, the $25 price. $100, which is the retail on it. Do I think it's worth $100? I'll be honest, I think if I paid $100 for this, I would be quite a bit let down. And that's only because you can get really good age-stated rye whiskey for around $80 to $100. So you can get some 10-year-old Indiana rye whiskey for $80, you know, the Templeton 10-year. You could get some older, I mean, just like it's pretty easy to get older rye whiskey for around that price point. This one, without it having an age statement, it's good. It's a great deal for $25. Honestly, I might buy another one as a backup, just as a great $25 bottle. But it honestly, it's fine. It's not like I feel like I won the lottery with this one, with the discount price. So if you see this on clearance, definitely grab it. If you see it at full price, you got better options, is all I got to say. Leaving us to our number one of the flight tonight, my top pick, which was the Stellum Rye Lone Cypress. Again, another rye whiskey blend, 115.34 proof. This one was just my favorite overall. It's so unique. It's definitely leaning into that sweet confectionery candy note. It's not going to be for everyone. It's so bright. And I think, funny enough, it drinks the lowest proof, even though it's 115.34. I can see this being 100 proof. Like, that is so easily drinkable. I think that one would absolutely do really well in a cocktail as well. But in terms of paying retail for it, or so let me start with this. In terms of paying the 75% off price I paid, the $25 for this one, absolute steal. Honestly, if they still have it in stock, I'm about to buy another one after this stream. Just such a good whiskey for $25. I mean, that is like, I think that's almost, unless you just hate sweeter whiskeys, that's going to be hard to argue that that's not a good whiskey for $25. Retail, $100. I actually think I would pay retail for this one. I like the flavor profile. I like that sweet kind of candy thing going on. You know, I think it's a little more complex than like an Angel's Envy Rye, but I think it's along the lines of what I love about the Barrel Seagrass. So it's kind of in that direction. Now, to be fair, Barrel Seagrass is only like $90. So it's like, would I rather have Seagrass or this? I think I'd rather have both, because I think, you know, Seagrass is when you want to go real funky, really wild. This is like where you want a little bit of a taste of that, but not like, it's a little more traditional. So that being said, this is the only one that I think I would feel comfortable paying retail for. But if you can get it on clearance or you know, cheaper in general, this is definitely to be the one to go for. I know I saw someone say like a year ago, they saw theirs hit clearance. Check your stores. If you see this for a good price, absolutely pick it up, especially if you love that sweeter rye. If you're a fan of Angel's Envy Rye, or if you're a fan of Seagrass, you're going to be a fan of this one. So that's my thoughts on that one. Speaking of deals, let me know what deals you guys have found, like the best deals you've ever found on whiskey. Was it a pricing error? Was it just something on clearance? Or did you just get really, really lucky? I want to hear your stories in the chat before we wrap up. I say that because I see one in the chat already. Cindy said, I picked up a Bullet 10-year rye on sale for $20. Holy crap. $20 for a 10 year is an incredible deal. Well done. Yeah, Wayne said that's a find for a 10-year-old rye. You did good. Absolutely. Joe in the chat, what's up? Can't be mad at too many bottles for a $25 or under price point. Cheers, Clifton and Peeps. Have a great Thursday night. Smash that like button. Thank you, Joe. Cheers. You guys need to make sure to subscribe to Independent Joe here on YouTube as well. Amazing whiskey channel that is very, very friendly and generous. Thomas Anderson's here in the chat. What's up, Thomas? Good to see you. Who else did I miss? Did I miss someone? Oh, I feel like I missed someone. If I missed you, sorry. Wayne said he got the Silver Springs 8-year sweet rye for $40. Nice. I'm not familiar with Silver Springs, but an 8-year rye for $40 sounds like a deal. Thomas Anderson came in with the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof for $85 here in Michigan. Oh my God. That's amazing. I actually just bought a second bottle of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. I paid $110. I think it was $110. I think I paid $110 for it, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, $85. Hell yeah, that's a great deal. Cindy says Silver Springs is awesome. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out. Have not had that one or heard of that one. But overall, Silver Springs is New Riff. Oh, okay, didn't realize that. Adam says we know Zophar and the Isla Barley are bigger winners. Oh, wait, Alfonso, are you still here? You want to tell that story? But yeah, listen, here's to say, check your bottles. If your store has a clearance section, it's worth a look, because I've gotten lucky, not even just liquor stores. Okay. I'll say I went to my local grocery store probably about a month ago, and I found a bottle of Hendrick's, like Hendrick's gin, which is normally like a $30 to $40 gin, for $10. I don't know why. It had a custom sticker on it that said $10. I think the label was scratched a little bit, but it was unopened. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm buying that for $10. So it's like, it's worth checking. Obviously, if like the cork is open or something like that, then you're like a little bit more suspicious about it. But if it's like a cosmetic thing, or just the fact they're getting rid of their stock of a discontinued bourbon or rye whiskey, you could find some of the best deals. And I say stock up, because I honestly wish I would have bought more of this Lone Cypress. If they still have it in stock, like I said, I'm going to grab a few more bottles, because it's just that good for the price. Silver Spring is a 9-ish-year-old rye from J.W. Kelly for around $40, going away soon. Do not believe it's New River. Oh, okay, there's some controversy in the chat. I love it. I'm actually not sure. I'm not familiar with the brand, so I'm actually checking to see what K&L has right now. Thomas said he grabbed 2 each of the Stellum cask-strength bourbon and rye 2 years ago for $30. Nice. See, this Stellum stuff, someone else said, you missed at the top of the stream, someone said they found the Stellum Blacks about a year ago for a very similar price. So see, look, these are still slowly making their way out of the market, but my store just happened to catch up with the trend. Because like I said, right now they still have the Fibonacci and the Equinox blend. Unfortunately, those are my second and third place tonight. I might grab another of the Fibonacci blend for $25. But the Equinox just didn't do it for me. I was happy with the Evan Williams 250th for $53. Nice. You know what? I've been on the lookout for that bottle. I've not found it. I've just found the regular Evan Williams, like the black label, but with the special label, like the handle of it. I've been looking for that single barrel, but I have not found it locally yet, but I'm keeping an eye out. So I'll let you know if I find it, because I definitely want to review it. That'd be a really fun one to review for the upcoming July 4th. Joe said, let me know if you want me to send you some Silver Springs or anything else. Well, Joe, if you mention it. No, but seriously, Joe, if you ever want to send anything and you want to come on the stream, please let me know. I would love to have you on as a guest again. It's been a while, but yeah, if you ever want to sit a flight, either blind or just something you've been enjoying, let me know in the chat if you guys want to see Joe on. Obviously you do, but yeah, anytime, man. Would love to. I wish I could make it down your way more often, just so we could like do in-person streams. But yeah, that drive's not the greatest. It's an easy drive, but it's a long drive. So, but cheers to you, Joe. Stellum Black Label Rye is amazing and very slept on. Yeah, the especially this one, the Lone Cypress. I'm sad that it's sold out, because I would have bought it. I would have like literally shared my screen while I bought another bottle, like, so you guys know I'm legit. So that's my thoughts on these discount bourbons. If you're watching the replay, let me know what's the best deal you've ever gotten on a bottle. You can reveal your secret. Like, if it's still like your honey hole and like you're still getting the deal, maybe don't reveal it. But like, if it happened like a year or so ago, I think you can spill the beans now. Let us know what your best steal of a find has been for whiskey. Would love to know what those stories are. It's always just so much fun to learn. Joe said, I'll get you a blind fight. Yeah, cheers, man. I don't know if you have my newest address. If not, I'll shoot you a message after to make sure. I mean, I've been here for like 2 years, but it's been a while since we've swapped samples. So Thomas said he found a full line of Thomas S. Moore marked down to 34 each. That's probably what they're worth. Listen, I don't think the Thomas S. Moores are bad. I think they were incredibly overpriced for they were. I think their finishes were kind of all over the place. Some were really good. Others were not it. But yeah. Oh, Todd's here. What's up, Todd? Wayne, I believe you were thinking of Silver Grove from New Riff. Oh, maybe similar. Silver String Sweet Rye is widely reported to be distilled. Okay, so this sounds like there is some controversy, or not controversy, there's just some conflicting reports there. I have no idea. I have no stakes on the situation, but I do love New Riff. So Doug says he has 2 different barrels of the Evan Williams 250, both great and different. Oh, okay. Well, I will still keep an eye out for those. I definitely want to grab one before the July 4th weekend. I have exactly 1 month to do so, so I got to keep my eyes peeled. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. If you missed the top of the stream, I'm offering I'm offering a 20% discount on all of my merch for Pride Month on bourbonbytes.com. For the month of June, if you use promo code BYTEPRIDE or the link in the description here, you'll get 20% off your purchase on everything. So all of my merch, the coasters, the shirts, if you need a restock, grab it now, 20% off. Of course, if you are a Byte Club member, you regularly get discounts anyways. Because your membership comes with a permanent discount. So check that out. But this is going to be the best deal you can ever get on my merch. So while supplies last, or while the month lasts. But again, thank you all so much for this stream. I'm really excited for more streams this month. I have reached out to a few brands that are very either LGBTQ owned or big supporters of the community. We'll see if we're able to get any of them out on the channel for this month, but I really would like to make it happen. If not, I do hope to review some of their spirits on my podcast, which comes out every Thursday morning. So if you want to know about the latest and greatest allies in the world of whiskey, definitely stay tuned this month. Of course, just stay tuned for good whiskey and good bourbon in general. We don't discriminate here, we only discriminate if it's bad whiskey. Then we're like, yeah, get out of here. But cheers, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys next Thursday. Until then, check out the podcast that came out earlier today. Check out my daily shorts and follow me wherever you are on the internet. I should have a profile there. Cheers. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.